Sometimes your voice is not enough.
People are mostly curious about the process, I think. And in some ways, I feel it's a downfall of the work. For me, I'm trying to marry the image making with the process so much so that they can't be separated. I mean, that's the procedural responsibility that I care about. There are lots of artists that use 19th century printing processes, and some make images that wouldn't be interesting if they weren't printed in that method. I want to make it not so that my work is interesting printed in another method, but that it wouldn't make any sense at all if it were printed in another method. I mean, my art practice is so interior. I mean, so much of what I do is in this studio by myself on my own, that exterior world and being able to hit the street and have it all around me is kind of important. Even if I'm just sort of walking through it and watching it and experiencing it, it's an important part of some balance I'm trying to find.
Dan is a very smart photographer. He's a very smart person in general, but his photographs particularly bear the hallmarks of his intelligence, where he's really thinking these things through. And because they are setups, basically, he has the luxury of time to figure out exactly what he wants to say and what he wants to do.
I never really would have considered myself a very intuitive artist. My work is planned to a certain degree, with all the preparation involved chemically and technically. There's lead time before I really get to making an image, and it's often sketched out. So I always felt like it's sort of over-planned. But when I think about where the imagery comes from, there's still some sort of strange magic that happens. I mean, they often just show up. There are specific images that are inspired by other specific images, usually found photographs, or things that I've collected over the years. I still haven't seen digital prints that I love as much as the chemical prints, but that'll change. I mean, to be honest, it doesn't affect me so much. I mean, I'm barely buying film. I'm shooting paper negatives. I'm doing it all from scratch. So I've kind of isolated myself from the drama no matter which way it swings. But if you really think about it, even black and white processing is an old-fashioned 20th century technology. I mean, that's an alternative process right there. I think that I may have experimented more earlier by working in different processes for each body of work. And the fact that I've spent the last few years really concentrating on the paper negative and its salt print positive and those as pairs, that I've had a chance to really think about it in a more complete way. It's led me closer and closer to drawing. I mean, I used to say that I was working my way backwards through photo history to learn how to draw again, and I think I may have been right, because I find myself doing that more and more in every piece. I'm not sure where it's leading me. In some ways, I have to be constantly vigilant that I don't get so introspective and interior that I shut out the viewer. And there are times when I start thinking, I actually need to focus on the communicative aspect of art making. Because as much as I love the interior work, and I love being in the studio and making work that means something to me, it's still important for me to take that piece and hang it on a wall and have it communicate to somebody else.